Hi Scorpio, this is your February 2019 reading. Welcome to the most positive month of the year and the most positive month we've had in a very, very long time. Finally, it is here. It is the time to go for it. Not just that all the planets are going to be visible this month and they're moving forward. We have so many supportive aspects, especially for you this month, to make the requisite difficult shifts in your work life, in your health life, in your love life. It is a beautiful month to make changes, and the changes will flow easily for you. The first thing that is happening is that Jupiter at the start of the month, within the first 10 days of the month, is making contacts with Sun, it is making contact with Moon, it is making contact with Mercury. This is very, very positive and fortunate and lucky. We are looking for infusion of positivity, of optimism, of even self-worth and net worth, additional net worth in our home and family sector. We're looking to create more substance for ourselves and adding more to our security. And as we add more to our security, we are adding something to our base essentially, which is helping us take requisite risk in the later part of the month. The second part of the month is where we are making the shifts, because on 13th of February, after the new moon that we have on around 4th or 5th of February, around 13th of February, we have a flashpoint moment. I like to call it the aspect as an Independence Day, when Mars and Uranus are working together, very impulsive, very independent seeking, very going for it aspect. They're combining together at 29 degree of Aries. It is about taking a chance. It is about seizing the moment. It's about finding the right opportunity and going for it. Uranus, before it moves out of your house of work and health, wants you to get the requisite innovative changes that you deserve in your health and in your work environment. And it will make it happen. On 13th of February, it is meeting with Mars. Anything that is holding you back, anything that is sort of has become a very evident blockage in your progress, that has got to go with that 13th of February flashpoint, which will be in effect from 9th or 10th of February. You will feel this impulsiveness, this sudden changes, this effects of removal of obstacles happen from 10th of February. First, the infusion of confidence, infusion of positivity in your home and family and your inner life, which follows these sudden changes, the impetus to make difficult changes, the impetus to go for it, to take the leap of faith, which happens around 13th of February. And then, of course, comes Saturn and Pluto. Saturn and Pluto this whole year want to make sure that we are firm in our mind to go after our desires. So Saturn and Pluto come after we have made these changes, after we have taken this impulse, after we have decided what we want to do. Saturn and Pluto set that in stone, because after 13th or 14th of February, we have firming of things, we have earth energy, we have grounding energy, because this energy needs grounding to be able to implement it in real life. And that is what makes 2019 fabulous, and that is what makes February fabulous. We have the whole month of February under the influence of Saturn and Neptune coming together in a sextile aspect, which is a positive aspect, and Saturn and Neptune together are working on manifesting your imagination, your creativity, your dream, the things that you've been always aspiring to get. Saturn aims to create that in a concrete format, and it will not leave you till you create something substantial out of your aspiration. So it will ground you in the second half of the month to make sure that we put the nose to the grindstone and we make it happen. We make sure that we take it to the end. We are persistent with it, we are consistent with it. It works on both our creativity as well as our ability to communicate our viewpoint, our ability to sort of formulate what we want to do. It makes sure of that, and Pluto adds the power for it. I was running with a challenge to find a negative aspect this month. This is how great this month is. We have two uh, two instances this month. We always have a full moon and a new moon every month, and both of these, the full moon and the new moon, do not have a challenging aspect. That is very, very rare to have, which means that a new start that you're doing this month, as well as the culmination of the old phase that you have this month, they do not have a challenge. They only have support for you. The first full moon that's happening around 4th or 5th of February is in your home and family and emotional foundations. So there is a newfound support that you find within yourself or within your support system to go for it. Jupiter infuses you with that positivity, with the self-worth, with the confidence, with the sort of support at the base that you can go for it. And then that follows the full moon that is happening on 19th of February at 1 degree Virgo, which is happening in your hopes and aspirations. The goalpost that you want to go for is shifting. You are changing the direction in which you want to go. The thing that we aspire to become, the thing that we want to become, the thing that we know we can become is shifting this month, and it is becoming a very ambitious dream of ours because it's coming with Regulus. Regulus is a royal star which is known for fame, which is known for success, which is known for making big dreams happen. So you are dreaming big here. You are being true to yourself in the same process because you want this new start, that you're having the shift, the important leap that you're taking, to have the signature of your being truthful to yourself. You are being true to your essence, to your values, to yourself right now, because we cannot escape reality with the full moon at 1 degree Virgo. It is about being honest with ourselves, being honest with our cause, being truthful to who we want to be. This is there's a theme of empowerment and truthfulness with the full moon that we have. It is happening with Regulus. The Regulus moon is known, Margaret Thatcher is known for Regulus moon. Winston Churchill is known for Regulus moon. This is having the power within our heart to make the right change. And Chiron is moving into Aries, so there's a healing which is coming with this change. But at the same time, because we are healed, the next 9 years will be contributed to us being useful or being service to others or being service to the society. We are creating a legacy which will help heal others, which will help the larger population. This is not a small dream, this is not a small goal, this is a vision which is different, a vision which benefits a larger set of people. So we are going for something which has an underlying healing for a large set of people, because Chiron and Aries will sort of give us the responsibility to be a healing influence for others in the coming years. So this is the gist of what's happening in the most positive month that I've seen so far, and we'll go into the details of it. I'll give you some dates, though it's very, very difficult in this short month to find the dates which are which I should highlight, because there are a lot of positive aspects this month. But let's go into first the challenging aspects, which are easier to find. On 13th of February, the day of the Flashpoint, when Mars and Uranus are combining together, I need you to be a little bit careful. I would advise 11th, 12th, 13th to be a little bit careful if you're driving. So because it's a very impulsive energy, and it's coming with North Node and South Node. So there's an element of karmic events here. We want to be careful in terms of what kind of impulses we are responding to. So being a little bit careful, and it's not just you, the population around you will be impulsive as well. So driving, being a little bit careful, being just generally careful in terms of being prone to hurrying up in terms of things. This is like urgent aspect. We urgently want to get through things and move to the next phase in our life. So with the hurry comes sometimes a little bit of hurt. Last time this aspect happened at a different degree Aries, I actually got physically hurt, and I'm a Scorpio rising, so I'm warning from experience as well. And the second aspect that I want you to be careful about is on 19th of February. Now, 19th and 18th of February, again, both of these dates, 13th as well as 19th of February, are fabulous days. There are major shifts on both of these dates, but there are aspects that you need to be careful about on these dates. So 19th and 18th of February is when Venus and Saturn are meeting together, so it makes it a great day to launch something, to write a paper, to introduce an idea, to put an idea to bed, essentially, because you can hone down and create the contract for it. You can hone down and create the requisite branding for it. You can put a creative idea into a concrete form on these dates. But with Mercury and Neptune together, it is great for creativity, but we can make errors. And the point is, we will, to some extent, will need to make modification of what we launch around 19th of February, or what we do around 19th of February, because Mercury will go retrograde next month on these degrees. So if there is a creative project that you're working on, there's a book you're writing, there's a document you're writing, there's a publication you're working on, there's a business idea that you're sort of finalizing, there's a possibility that you'll need to pay more attention to the details. I would suggest do not take unnecessary financial risk at this point in time, especially on 19th of February. We should not do that any other time as well, but 19th of February you'll be fuzzy about how much risk is embedded in a financial document. So if there is a financial document, a risky investment, or a risk-taking exercise that you're going for it, look to get more details later in the month on it. You will need to reconsider that document in the coming days as well. Good dates this month. So instead of 19th of February, maybe go a little bit later in the month. 23rd of February is great for documentation. It's great for signing a document, to ratify a document, to find faults with a document. Mercury in Pisces is not great on the details, but if you have to sign something this month, 23rd of February is the best date in my view to do it, because Pluto is meeting Mercury at that time. So we'll be very keen in finding out the nitty-gritty of things, figuring out what are the issues in the documentation. Other positive dates, 2nd and 3rd of February, great for any negotiation. If you want to negotiate something, there's a difficult topic that we have not been able to handle for a long time, both at personal and at professional level, 2nd and 3rd of February are great to do that. The other positive aspect is on 7th or 8th of February. Great for making a real estate investment, great for buying something for your house. It is great to even sort of have a discussion with your mom, or discussion if there have been any fights in the family, to reconcile that. 7th or 8th of February are great days to do that. Then on 17th of February, Venus and Neptune are together. This is excellent for creativity. This is excellent to make a communication, or writing something, or launching a paper, launching something online, or sending an email, branding communication that you've been looking to. 17th of February is a great day to do that. 19th of February, as I spoke, it's not good for financial risk, but it is great for bedding down your ideas, creating a form out of it, thinking of a reality check of your business idea, putting down the requisite commercial terms for it that you can later ratify with somebody. 22nd of February are great, powerful days, very powerful days. So if you have not been able to have a conversation which is difficult in nature, 22nd of February is a great day to do that. See, there are no dates. I can't exclude any dates this month. This is a fabulous, fabulous month. I highly recommend to go over the details of this month. I'll go through each aspect, degrees, so which date born Scorpio are impacted most by it. I'll also try to put it on the screen so you can come back to it. I'll leave the timestamps at the bottom in the comments section, so you can come to individual part of the reading during the course of the month. I hope you have a fabulous month and you take advantage of the positive aspects we had this month. Let's dig into details. Going into the details of things, the first aspect which influences the whole of February 2019, and we spoke about it in the January video as well, is that Saturn and Neptune are coming together. This is a 36-year-old synod which is attached to change, large shifts in perception, large shift in us, bringing a change in perspective into our future DNA. So you're sort of taking something that was just an inspiration, that was just a thought process, that was just a creative idea, you're bringing that into a long-term reality. You're creating a legacy out of it. Now, this could be a creative thought process, it could be a creative project, it could be a new business idea that you always had, it could be a talent that you have that you always thought is great to have, but I don't know what to do with it. Now you're looking to create that into a touch it, feel it product. You're looking to create a communication out of it. You're looking to create a brand out of it. You're looking to create a book, a publication, a skill set out of it. And this is infused with higher values. It is sort of infused with spiritual influence, higher ideal. It is infused with your higher love, because you're taking a risk on your talents when you're doing that. You're putting a structure to your creativity. You're putting a structure to your creative idea, to your business idea, to your higher ideals. And in the process of it, Saturn will do a reality check of how you want to deliver it, how commercially viable it is, how sound it is in structure. You're being asked to sort of bring the three things together, because this is a trifecta aspect. It is happening in your third house, and it's happening with the trident planet Neptune. So it has a number 3 brand on it, and that is 3 is the number of 2019 as well. 3 is the Trinity number. You are being asked to bring the 3 people, 3 elements together. That is known in Old Testament as the trident, as the Trinity, which is your spirit, your talents, and your words. You're being asked to bring the Holy Trinity, and I mean it in all respects. You're being asked to bring the higher powers, the spirit, the talent, the word, to reality. And this is not an easy task, but you are creating a legacy in format of either a publication, a book, a brand, a business, or a skill set that will benefit larger set of people. And in order to create that, you're being asked to have faith in the undefined future you have. You're being asked to have the inner drive to deliver it. You're sort of two people in this, because this aspect is in balsamic phase right now, which means that the new thing has not fully started. You cannot see the success of the new start right now. Then sort of, it's like being two people, one who has started living the new life and the other who's still attached to the past entity, because the end of the previous life has not happened, but the new life has sort of started. So you sort of have been feeling that, and I've been talking about it in the last couple of videos, that you might be feeling like these two people who exist. And Saturn and Neptune intends to check firmly, are you ready for your new life? Are you ready to bring this to reality? What is the structure required for it? What is the discipline required for it? Neptune is trying to sort of ease you into, bring ease to your words, to your communication flow. Neptune is trying to bring creativity to your mental skills, ease to self-made wealth, ease to teaching skills, ease to sales skills. So your communication and verbal skills and the day-to-day skills are being added with Neptune's higher powers and inspirations. At the same time, Saturn is giving a structure to your creative ideas, giving a structure to how you manage your children, what you feel about children. It's asking you to consider that. It's asking you to give a structure to your love life. It's asking you to give a structure to your business, to your talents. Create a commercial reality out of your talents. Create a commercial reality, touch it, feel it thing out of your inspirational idea that you've had since Neptune moved into this house in 2011. Because in 2011, you would have felt a sudden inspiration, a sudden shift, a sudden sort of rise of passion, a fire for you, and that has been growing since 2011. In 2016, that fire might have been stoked a little bit when we had the square, but we did not have the right tools to bring that to reality. And Saturn is giving you the right tools this year, and starting from this month in February, to start that process. The next contact is in 2025 of these two planets, so I will request you to make use of this year. Don't wait. Deliver what higher inspiration you came here to deliver. Deliver your gifts, your legacy to the world. So whatever higher inspiration you have, Don't wait, deliver that this year. The next contact is in 2025 of these two beautiful planets, so the completion of synod will happen then. Venus joins the trifecta this month. Venus and Mercury both are making contact with the Saturn and Neptune aspect during the course of February, which adds positivity to it, which adds ease of flow to it, which adds acceptance to your ideas, which adds charm and to this aspect is prevalent throughout the month of February, but it will be repeated 3 times in 2019. It will be repeated in June and November as well. This is the first aspect, the seeding of it, the start of it that's happening, and it's very, very potent for people who have their planets, sun, moon or ascendant between 14 degree to 17 degree of Scorpio, which is around 7th of November born. So if you have planets between even from 12 to 20 degree of Scorpio, you have your ascendant, sun or moon between 12 to 20 degree of Scorpio, or if you're born between 3rd of November to 10th of November, you have this aspect available throughout 2019. You'll feel the urge to deliver something and you have the tools to do it. All of you will feel it, but it's most potent for people born around 7th of November. Then the second aspect that happens on 2nd of February, which is very ambitious, very powerful, very course-shaking, is that Mars and Pluto are coming together. This is power aspect, power in your action. Kicking start something that has been difficult so far. Pluto is giving you the courage to make a shift in your work and health life right now. So any powerful changes that you have not been able to make in terms of your work environment, or in terms of your place of working, or in terms of your health habit, Pluto makes sure that it gives you the courage, the impetus to get over the hindrance and go for it. You're looking to get done with an old cycle, and it is important to get done with the old cycle because you're moving into a higher plane now. North Node is in the 9th house. It is the time for higher education. It is the time for leap of faith. It is the time of adventure. It is the time to bring out your talents at a larger scale to the world in form of meeting people who are different from you, interacting with foreign people, interacting with foreign ideas, expanding your mindset, expanding the frame of your life itself. Now, in order to do that, there are certain endings that are going to happen as a result of that. And Mars and Pluto give you the impetus to sort of clean the slate, so you can take a leap of faith. Now, because to take a leap of faith, you first need this ambitious, over the top of courage, the energy outburst. You're getting ready for marathon, and that is the aspect at the start of the month. It's like revving for a marathon aspect. But being careful on the other side, as I mentioned in the introduction, when Mars is so active in our health sector, it's great to make health changes. It is great to work out, especially in the first 2 weeks of the month. You'll feel the impetus to start working out, start detoxing, start taking action, physically being active. But it can add inflammation to our body. So being careful in keeping our body heat down, in keeping our nervous system in check, in keeping our nerves in check, that we are not building high adrenal into our body, which is putting our body into pressure, into a stress situation. So being careful, giving yourself the requisite rest, giving your body the requisite cool down period from inflammation, in terms of the foods that we're eating this whole month, and being careful in terms of being too impulsive in moving around. And then when we start working out and we are so enthusiastic about it, like being careful in terms of not hurting yourself during a workout. Then on 2nd and 3rd of February, we have beautiful aspect. Venus and Uranus are meeting together, and so is Mercury and Jupiter. And we are under the influence of Capricorn moon, which is stable, which is relaxing, which is in positive aspect to you. We are looking to think out of the box and figure out certain new thought processes. It's an excellent time to try something new, to try a new financial idea. Venus is sitting in your financial house. It is looking to do something different in terms of your finances. Try something new in terms of a new source of revenue, in terms of a new investment. And Uranus Uranus is supporting that investment idea by giving you certain innovative ideas, certain out of the box ideas of investment. So from 1st to 3rd of February, they're great for signing contracts, they're great for negotiation, they're great for figuring out a new diet, they're great for figuring out a new investment idea that you've not thought of before, especially in a real estate side, because Mercury and Jupiter are together in terms of your real estate assets. If you've been looking to invest into or putting your money into or expand your money through real estate, so that's a good time to do that. If you have planets around 18 degree of Scorpio, which means you're born around 10th of November, it's a very good time to have a productive discussion with family, even to invest in real estate. 18 degree of Scorpio or 10th November born, a few days ahead and after, it's a good time to invest in some enhancement for your home. And what sort of support system you have, reviewing that. Maybe if you don't feel supported by your support system, having a productive discussion with them. 1st to 3rd of February makes a very good time to discuss things, to be constructive in discussion, and it makes a good time for diet, for beauty changes, for detox or Botox, whatever we are looking for. It's a beauty aspect plus a home and family aspect. And Venus and Chiron are meeting together. There is a need to be appreciated for your talents, which is driving you. What is driving you is a pain in the past of not being appreciated for you being different, for you being unique in your talents. Chiron is like a yoga pose when we adjust a little bit of spine angle and you breathe freely. There's a little bit of adjustment that is happening in our thought processes, which make our creative ideas and our worth and our value and the money and the self-worth and the net worth, it sort of is embedded. It flows because of us adjusting a small outlook about what we are worthy and how much our ideas are worth and how much our talents are worth. We sort of embed that as a child. We embed that from a very early age, this doubt about our self-worth, this doubt about our expression, this doubt about how much our ideas and our talents are worth. And this yoga pose adjustment, which happens with Chiron finally healing itself in February, we are reaching that moment of breathing our ideas flow freely into a valuable commodity. And this is happening at 29 degree Pisces. Chiron is at 29 degree Pisces. That is a degree of Rory Kennedy. If you're aware of her story, it's a degree of healing to heal others, to support others. Rory Kennedy, in the Curse of Kennedy documentary, if any of you have seen, was considered to be the most unfortunate of the Kennedys. It's sometimes worse to be left behind than to be gone sometimes. So she had immense pain in her life. She was a daughter to a father. She was born 6 months after the death of her father. It's a very painful life and the very painful set of things that she faced during her lifetime. But what did she make out of her pain? She created things to help others. She created positivity out of it. She converted her pain into power for others, healing for others. And that is the power of Chiron. Chiron is asking you to adjust your pose, your yoga pose a little bit, your spine a little bit. So what you're breathing through yourself becomes a gift for others. That what you're creating becomes a gift for others. And there's an urgency to deliver this gift. There's an urgency, 29 degrees. So many planets are at 29 degrees. There's an urgency to just get it out to the world, to get it done. And which is what is required in 2019. We have to deliver it. Then on 3rd of February, Venus moves into the stable Capricorn. So till 1st of March, in your heart, you feel this Capricorn energy, the strong stability, the strong support within your heart to make things happen. And you gather support from your surroundings with Venus as well. It is where people around us, our sibling, our acquaintances, the people in our immediate environment, they support you as a result of that in this month. It is very good for stability. It is very good to commit yourself to a thought process, commit yourself to paper, commit yourself to a specific idea. committing yourself to a way of communication. So it eases the burden of the mind because the commitment is made in a mind to go for it with this. On 2nd of February, there's a unique aspect which, if you channel or if you are in a creative field, it is of pertinence to you. On 2nd of February, we have Venus meeting the galactic center. This is where sometimes we don't know where the idea came from, kind of an aspect. There's sometimes a brilliant idea that downloads in our mind and we don't know where it came from. So 2nd of February is that aspect as well. So give yourself the first 3 days of the month to meet people who you wanted to make up with, to create new ideas, to do real estate investment, to figure out how to make this talent of yours work for healing others, helping others as well, because that will be the aim as well, a part of the aim of what you're trying to do. On 4th of February, we have the beautiful new moon. I spoke about it in the separate video as well, but I'll speak about it specific to your sign here. It's happening at 15-degree Aquarius. This is happening in your home and family and emotional house. You're looking to have an emotional uplift. This is like a spring cleaning of our inner world, which is happening with Jupiter over there. We are putting a light, a beautiful light, sort of an acknowledgement of a faith, a support system for you. You're gathering your support in private and it is making you feel wonderful. Your Achilles heels. Where are you vulnerable? Jupiter will help you build that gap. So look at it. Give yourself the private time that you need during this new moon. Do not start anything till the new moon is visible around 5th or 6th of 5th or 6th of February. So give yourself the first 1 or 2 days of after the new moon to start something new. This is a very beautiful new moon because Jupiter is aspecting both the sun and moon, and Jupiter has just aspected Mercury, our mind, as well. So we are looking for a very expansive new start. We're looking for the self-confidence we need. You're gathering your support with your home and family. Your home and family supporting you in the process. You're feeling very supported over here. You're finding new grounding because the old ground has ended. It is a signifier. It is sort of a signifier that the old life has ended. You're becoming aware of what's over and what lies ahead. When we have so much focus in our foundations, we are emotionally charged up. So you might feel emotionally charged up, but you're pushed to sort of overcome your internal resistance, the obstacle, the security which was stopping you from taking the step. And that comes with you spending time with your loved ones. It comes by talking to your family. It comes by giving yourself the time at home. It comes by giving yourself the private time. It comes because Jupiter is intent on infusing new self-worth and net worth in your life. So you feel the support come through either financially or physically in some form, which gives you the confidence. It refurbishes your emotional containers, your emotional life, your inner life, so you can go ahead. In symbolic astrology, this is shown as two lovebirds. They build a nest out of tangled string and they sit high above a violent city street. A squabble results when the male bird grabs a worm from the female, but harmony is restored very soon. So this is not an ideal situation in which you're finding peace. It's not an ideal situation. None of us have perfect support system. None of us have perfect families. None of us have perfect relationships. But you're finding support in the imperfection. You're finding support in what you've been gifted with. You're finding support in your home and family here. And new moon is being aspected, as I said, with Jupiter. So Jupiter lights up your inner world, and there is a higher value which is added to it, a higher vision that is added to it. Aquarius is about sudden shift. As I said, I mean, it's like an unlock which happens. Aquarius is always about sudden shifts, and the sudden shift that's happening is in the way you feel supported. You felt not so confident earlier to go for it. You maybe did not feel enough support come through in a physical fashion, in a monetary fashion earlier to go through, or you did not find emotional support to go through. Aquarius new moon over the course of next 2 weeks makes you very, very comfortable in your skin to go for it. And it's a very imaginative, very creative, very innovative new moon. Aquarius new moon is brilliant. Mercury in Aquarius is brilliant. Until 10th of February, I'll request you to make use of that. When Mercury is in Aquarius, it's the height of innovation. We can come up with such brilliant ideas on how to make this work for you. It's not about compromise though, so it is not about changing and bending your values or bending your thought process or giving up your independence. No, it is about thinking what will work for you, what will work for your family, finding a third way that works for both of you. So you're looking at an innovative solution, and then Mars comes into action after 6th of February when we can act on it, and then Mercury and Mars are working together from 6th to 9th of February to implement this all, to put it into action. You get the courage and the innovation combined together. You're just not innovative. It's not just about thinking about things, you're actually acting on those unique ideas, and it's fast and it has to get done. There's an urgency to it all, and you're using this innovative idea to add to your work life, to improve your work life as a result of it, to improve your health as a result of it. Mars is sitting in your Mars is sitting in your work and health sector. It wants to act and create the changes that it needs to create in your work sector as well as your health sector, but it does not have the emotional support earlier to do it. Now with that emotional support coming through, you feel confident enough from 6th to 9th of February to actually act on it. And Mars is in Aries till 13th of February. Any difficult changes, any new starts that you want to do, I would suggest you to do them before 13th of February, because after 13th of February it will become more about staying on course, retaining things. It will not be about breakthroughs, because Mars will move to Taurus after that. Mars is very, very, our courage, our actions are very potent in the first 13 days of the month. If you have any planets, sun, moon or ascendant between 12 to 18 degree of Scorpio, which means if you're born between 4th of November to 10th of November, like the previous new moons that have been happening for the last couple of months since your new moon in November, this new moon will be very, very important to you. It is important for all of us. It will affect all of us in one form or the other, but for the ones born between 4th of November to 10th of November, or if you have planets Scorpio sun, ascendant or moon between 12 to 18 degree, this is a very important and a core-shaking new moon for you. It is an important shift, a distinct emotional shift in your home and family, in your emotional core that is happening. And this started from November. We started something new, Scorpios, in November with our new moon. We decided to make a change in our life in November. And now this is the phase of it. This is another phase of it. We're creating the security required to make this shift in our life. And we are moving from a very fire and cardinal energy to innovative and intelligent energy, a detachment to some extent. This is not an emotional new moon. This is a new moon where we can sit at 30,000 feet and clearly have a detached discussion with our loved ones, with ourselves, within ourselves, to objectively look at the situation. And we need it. We need the break from the high over the top energy to actually make it work for us. It's not just it's not a nervous energy. It's not an energy where emotions are high and people are fighting with each other. It's not that kind of energy. It's where you reconcile. It's where you collect yourself. It's where you assert your independence in a very constructive fashion within your personal life. From a health perspective and mundane perspective, there are a couple of things. I spoke about it in the Aquarius new moon video as well, but specifically for your sign, if you have any health issues related to wiring of the system, which means our veins, so varicose veins, circulatory issues, blood circulation issues, nervous system issues, these are sensitive points on 4th or 5th, especially the day of the new moon on 4th or 5th of February. So being careful if you have nervous energy, circulatory issues. You get cramps suddenly in your calves and your knees, any overstimulation, because this is this is a Aquarius new moon. Even though it is a cool, it's actually associated with freezing. In an environmental situation, it causes a cold wind, so unexpected cold is expected. Even though it is a cool new moon in its essence, but Aquarius rules our nervous system. So in excitement of the change and excitement of the shift, especially when it is squaring you, being careful of keeping the overstimulation within check. So acupuncture, taking the salts, taking the minerals that you usually do, if you take any, in order to keep nervous system within check, is important. At a mundane level, we can see certain oppressed rallies. We are already seeing that happen around us. It starts from earlier itself. So some sort of underdog revolting, because this is about the people, for the people, by the people, of the people. This is like a revolution at a mundane level, at a global level. It is like people resisting authority, people resisting and fighting for a cause, for equality. Those kind of protests could be expected around us. Unexpected cold can be expected. Being a little bit careful in terms of volatility, both in the environment, in the weather, as well as in the stock market. It's useless to say volatility in the stock market, that is a given. But overall volatility in the market is expected as a result of that. Then back up your data system at the time, because it rules wiring of our computers as well. So this was the new moon, and you'll see the effect of this over the course of 2 weeks from 4th of February. Then following the new moon on 5th or 6th of February, it is a very creative, very height of imagination and height of arts kind of day. 5th and 6th are very good for creative energies. Then 7th and 8th are the days when I said that it's great for investment into real estate, making a change into the house, making an addition of investment into your existing house or buying a new house. Then 6th to 9th of February overall is great for making things happen, acting on unique ideas, having the courage and the innovation to make the changes in your house of work, in your work environment, as well as in your health. 6th to 9th is when a lot of work will get done. In fact, before 13th of February, we should try to get some of the difficult tasks out of the way, because Mars, our work and our courage is at its peak at that time. Especially if you have Scorpio Sun, Moon or Ascendant between 20 to 25 degree, which means if you're a Scorpio Sun born between 12th of November to 17th of November, you'll feel that this rapid, quick ideas coming in and you implementing, ideas coming and you implementing, and that's a great time to actually get it done. On 10th of February, Mercury moves into your creative house, into your house of joy. That is our persona, our mindset, our intelligent mind getting a boost of positivity, of joy, and it flows in positive aspect with you, which means that the communication flows easily, creative ideas flow easily, discussion with the people around you, with the loved ones flows easily, romance flows easily as well for the next 9 weeks. Now this is because Mercury will be going retrograde in this area next month. So we are having 9 weeks of creativity, 9 weeks of passion, 9 weeks of romance, 9 weeks of spending more time and mental energy into our children. And that is because Mercury will be retrograde in March in this area, the first planet to go retrograde this year on around 5th or 6th of March. But more importantly, why do we have a retrograde in water sign? It is to check our check the quality of what we are doing. It's not about so much about the quantity, it's not about the form, it is not about the fire and the impetus anymore. In March it will become more about embellishing it, rethinking the actual quality of what we are doing in terms of our inspiration. It is not about actually starting things anymore. It will be more about creating the right framework. Is it in line with what we want? The matter of heart will also come for reconsideration. So you will have an approach shift in March as well. And the new start that you're having in this month in your creative area, or there's a creative project that you might be doing this month, or there might be something related to your children or something related to romance that comes up this month, especially in the second half of the month. It will undergo certain amount of reconsideration in the month of March, but it is much required. It is giving you more time to focus on these subjects to make them perfect to some extent. Then 11th and 12th of February, we have Taurus moon, which might be a little bit of tense time. You need to balance the relationship versus work on 11th and 12th of February, which is common, but there might be some over the top emotions, a bit of conflict also to some extent, even though moon is very favorable at the time. It is favorable for generating new ideas, especially on 11th of February, but in your personal life, you need to take care around 11th or 12th of February. Then comes the over the top energy. Yes, we have the 13th of February Flashpoint. It starts from 9th of February itself. You start feeling this, that I need to let go of an old mindset to make the change in my work, make the change in my health. That mindset, this urgent mindset, starts from 9th of February itself, when Mars is making a contact with North Node and South Node. It is making a karmic contact, so there is some amount of action. There is a karmic element to the actions we are taking between 9th to 15th of February, which is in line with our aim to take a leap of faith, to trust ourselves and our expansion process a little bit more, that we can become more and we want to become more. And as a result that we want to become more, we want to learn more, we want to expand our knowledge, we want to expand our sphere, there's certain changes in our health and in our work environment that come with this flashpoint. It is a very risk-on, very untraditional, very brave energy. There is a need to act to get freedom, and that need for freedom is very high to jump into your next adventure. The impetus, even to some extent the irrational thought process that there is no fear, that there is no loss, that there is nothing stopping me right now, this kind of impetus that comes through in our mind. And this doesn't happen often. Mars and Uranus have will never ever be meeting at 29 degrees ever again. This is an excellent impetus that is coming. Earlier they did meet around February of 2017. It is good to look back around 27th or 28th of February. What was the personal mountain you moved at the time in your work life or in your health life? I made a shift in terms of my work title at the time on 27th or 28th of February. I don't know what it was in your life, but it was not 29 degree. It was a different degree at the time. So right now with this, there's an urgency to it. And in symbolic astrology, 29 degree of Aries is represented as a conductor who raises his baton and vibrates it rapidly. He suddenly points to the violin who enter on a trembo. So this is called right on time aspect. This is called being in time, the opportunistic window, the being in tune with the situation, being in link with the situation, being in flow with the situation and going with it, having the adrenal rush to go for it, where the god of war meets the god of lightning bolt energy. This is like the speed of things with which it all happens. Where we break out of the old state, we break out of the old mindset for the shift, for the expanded, for the excitement, for the expanded mindset, for the adventure, for the freedom, for the innovation that we long for. This is a leap of faith that you're taking, and this comes with an impulse. It comes suddenly, it comes with the rush, it comes with a little bit of irrational faith as well to some extent, because sometimes to take a courage like that, to take a leap of faith, you will need some irrational faith at the time, and faith is irrational most of the time. You are not looking to at this stage accept anything less than perfection in your work environment, in your health, in what you want to do in life. And that is sort of making you take this leap of faith. What I would suggest is, and I'm not going to ask you to hold your horses here, because this is not something that you have not considered before. Mars and Aries have met in this area 2 times earlier. So you've had time to think about it, even though this is coming with the kind of urgency that it is. And the kind of urgency is because you have thought about it before. You have got the time last year when Uranus was retrograde to contemplate about this, whether you want to take this chance or not. So I'm not going to ask you to hold your horses here, because I think you know by now. What I would suggest is to be careful in terms of how we do it. Are we being irrational in how we treat others when we do it? Because this is like we just want to get it done no matter what. So not that not that you would normally do that, but in that rush, in that adrenal rush, are we burning the bridges? Being careful of that. Being careful of driving at the time. If we are handling any kind of vehicles, being careful of that. Being careful overall in terms of the speed at which we are going. But you will feel it in your bones that you need to break out of an old situation at this time. And 15th, 16th or 17th of February, you have Cancer moon which trines with you. You'll feel emotionally compelled to go in that direction. You'll feel that you have to let go the old thing and start something new. 15th, 16th or 17th, the moon, our heart, our emotions go in sync with this. It does not remain any more of the impetus that action is creating. Our heart, our unison, our sort of the emotions flow with it. We are already mentally there. Then after 16th of February, we have sobering influences. First thing that happens is that an energy needs to moderate a little bit for us to actually implement things. On 14th of February, on the day of Valentine's Day, Mars is moving into Taurus, sexy Taurus, sensuous Taurus, stable Taurus. The energy is about steadying our ground. It's about not breaking the ground, steadying the ground. It's about stability in action. It's about determination in terms of what we want to do. So this is about solidifying our resolute, sort of working with people, with partners, working with the people who we want to be part of our journey, working with them to make something solid. So after 14th of February, 15th of February, it becomes more about making it steady, sticking with it. And the first thing that happens in that is that Venus and Saturn meet together, and that is the height of solidifying something, because Saturn is all about creating something concrete, and Venus and Capricorn is already stable in the heart. So from 16th to 20th of February, this beautiful aspect of Venus and Saturn together, which otherwise would be depressing in normal course, but right now it is needed. It is sobering. It is putting things down, the creative inspiration down into reality. It is asking us to have a reality check. It's asking you to firm your heart. It's asking you to be done with the old thought process and infuse new energy, because it's already, Saturn has already worked on our mind. It met Mercury already in January. It met Sun in January. We had a new moon eclipse at the start of the year itself in this area about changing this, making this shift in our mind. And now it's sort of solidifying it, creating the documents for it, creating the agreements for it, creating the commercial terms of it. How do I talk about it to the people? How do I bring this to reality? How do I bring it to a document? How do I bring it to a feel it, touch it reality? Trimming your thought process, trimming your communication, sharpening your communication, sharpening the things that you're putting on paper, your words, your commercial viability, your branding, the mundane, the practical consideration. That is what 16th to 20th is all about. The mundane consideration that have to be taken care of. But alone Venus and Saturn would make it very depressing. What's happening is that Mercury and Neptune are together on 19th of Feb as well, which are also activated between 16th to 20th, especially in the second half around 18th of February, very, very strongly. This is height of inspiration. This is height of creativity. This is height of joy. When Mercury and Neptune are sitting in your house of joy, the creativity goes through the roof. And you sort of going for it. You're going for new ideas, going for sort of a visionary idea, an inspiration. You're getting the height of creative process at this time. There will be possibility of mistakes, as I mentioned earlier, especially if you are putting something to paper around or after 19th of February. Be prepared that thing that you're starting, the documentation for the business, even a investment idea, if that is what you're going into, if you're investing into a new business, or you're investing into your talents, or you're taking a course, or you're putting something to paper, just be prepared. There's nothing wrong with it, because an idea will have to go through modification. The full moon of 19th of February is at 1 degree Virgo, which means that this inspiration will be subjected to change. So don't be fixated in terms of being that this is how it will be. There will be changes, there will be shifts that will happen, there will be mistakes that might be happening. So don't get into a financial commitment, if possible, at this point in time. Don't get into signing something that will bind you legally to a financial obligation at that time. Don't take a undue financial risk at that time. Talk to an older person, talk to somebody who's experienced in your field, and get input from there. Saturn supports that. Saturn supports due diligence. It supports finding out what's happening in your environment in terms of what are the other people doing. Check the other people, check your colleagues, check with the people who are more experienced than you. Check your text twice in terms of being accurate about things, and then it all flows, it all comes to reality. 16th to 20th is about making things happen, kick-starting something. Sun and Uranus are together also on 18th of February. So as I said, I mean, this is not a place where you're entering without the requisite support. The first half of the month you're working on your support system, and that pays off in the second half. From 16th to 19th of February, your support system will surprise you. It will surprise you. Your own stability, your core will surprise you. You'll feel comfortable being you in all your uniqueness. You'll stay on course on one thing and find the innovation in your ambition. This is finding freedom you like in expression. Essentially, you are looking to create something which is different, very unique, very one of the kind. You want a different workplace, you want a different way of working, you want to try an innovative diet, but because you have worked on your core in this first half of the month, you feel comfortable doing that. And this is especially true for the cusp, because Uranus is acting at 29 degree right now. Even though at that degree all of us will feel it because it's a critical degree, but if you're especially born around 20th to 22nd of November, this shift is very important for you. This shift in your work environment, this empowerment, this innovation that you're creating in your work environment and your health is very, very critical for you. And you'll be surprised at how much support you're getting on that. Just stay on course with one thing. Find the stability after 16th of February. Don't look at breaking ground after 16th. Chiron moves into Aries on 18th of Feb, which is your 6th house. This is about healing by being of service. So for the last 9 years, Chiron was in your creative house, which was all about, trying to find your authentic self-expression. It was about healing yourself so you can express yourself freely, so you can come out with your creativity, so you don't feel ashamed about expressing love. When we are healed inside, we can love others. So it was about healing yourself so you can love others. Now, after having learned to love yourself, and that is a lifelong process for all of us, but having healed to some extent to love yourself, now over the course of next 9 years, with Chiron in Aries, we are being urged to create something to be useful to others. We are asking us to sort of provide, we are being asked to sort of provide the healing influence to others, and in a practical manner, either through a medical practice or through a healing practice, or through empowering media, through practical health healing methods. And to some extent, we are being healed as well. We will be working on our own healing as well, in our own health, and we'll be healing our perfectionism as well. Here we are trying to heal from trying to be too perfect and trying to do it all right, and because of that, sometimes not going ahead with it. We are healing that as well. Chiron last entered Aries also last April, so April 2018. What did you start at the time? Did you observe a shift between April 2018 to around September 2018, while last year Chiron had just entered Aries, but it had to go back into Pisces to sort of take care of our creativity. But there might have been certain themes that would have kick-started at the time in terms of your work environment, in terms of your health, or in terms of you starting something to heal others. Did an inspiration come at the time? That might be a similar theme that you might follow as a result of that. I actually started this channel at the time when Chiron had just entered Aries. So my vision for it was to empower people in terms of, you know, figuring out another tool that can help them in their day-to-day life, that can empower them. So, and bring a community that can empower each other, that can help each other. That brings me to the 19th of Feb full moon, which is happening in Virgo. Before the full moon, Sun is entering Pisces. So over the course of next 1 month, the focus will be very much on your creativity, because now we have the Sun, Mercury, both of them, our mind and our physical body will be focused on creating something for ourselves. It will be focused on creating joy. It will be focused on creating passion. So themes will be, if you are creating a business, the focus will be that. Theme could be focus on your children if that's what brings you joy. The focus could be a romance in your life. So something of passion, something where you're taking a risk on yourself in your personal and professional life will be the focus over the course of next 1 month to make it happen. But before that, we have this full moon which is happening on 19th of February, which will bring the focus to your hopes and dreams. This is happening at 1 degree Virgo. This is a degree where we are being true to ourselves, where we are being true to our values, we are being true to sort of our self-awareness. We know who we are and what we want, and we are going for it, and that requires a shift in the goalpost. This is the area of our life where we focus on our hopes and dream, our inspirations, our long-term vision. So this is not a short-term goal. This is the lifelong goal. What are we thinking about? Which direction we want to go in? What is the direction? What do we want to be known as in our society, in the people around us, or the people who matter to us? What do we want to be known as? Being true to that and working in that direction is the theme of full moon in Virgo on 19th of Feb, and it will be the theme for the next 2 weeks for you. You're sort of ending an old goal, an old dream, an old vision, and creating a new one which is more authentic to you. And it is coming in positive aspect with that flashpoint that we had on 13th of February, where Uranus and Mars, they were working together in releasing the old pattern, the old thought process, and they were working on creating new work environment, new health environment, new routine for you that is more in line with who you are becoming. You're creating a new routine set, a new day for you that is in line with who you want to be. This is happening with Regulus. Moon is with Regulus in this. Regulus is a star which is a royal star. It is known for empowerment. It is known for public prominence. It is known for great power and honor. This is a star which is known to be part of great leaders. So Margaret Thatcher, Winston Churchill, even Richard Branson. This is being wild and being courageous, having the power in the heart of the Leo. But what's happening is that Regulus, which used to be a star of Leo, is now becoming a star of Virgo because it has moved in the last couple of years. With that, the intent of what you're doing changes, because the intent is to continue to bring the the sense of self that you've discovered over the last 1.5 years. Because over the last 1.5 years, we have discovered Leo. We've discovered our identity, our passion, our ability to stand out in a crowd. We have discovered that. So we are bringing this sense of self to service others. Regulus has moved from Leo to Virgo, moved from being using our talents to make ourselves happy, to making others happy with it, servicing others with it. So you're bringing something, adding something to the society, to the community, to the world. Your vision is helping people, essentially being useful, being of service, and being a person who's contributing something to the society, who's leaving something for the society, who's leaving something for the network, for the people, who's creating a name for himself in the network for doing something that they truly believed in, is the theme of this full moon. And it is a very critical full moon happening at 1 degree Virgo. Means that this new start will undergo change. It's a mutable full moon, so there will be processes through it that you'll go through. There'll be time will modify this inspiration. Time will modify what you want to do in detail in this inspiration. Right now is the time to sort of stand up and say, I want to do this, and how you go about it will change, because the ruler of this full moon, Mercury, which is right now direct, it's entering shadow period. In March it will go retrograde. Means you need to change your perspective on how to do it. You need to change your perspective in terms of what kind of form this is going to take, and what kind of who are the people who will be part of this, who are the people who will be your supporters in this, who will be your tribe as a part of this. That will undergo some amount of change in that. Now, after this full moon of 19th of February, which is sort of very, very prominent, very ambitious with moon in Regulus, after that comes the passion element, the sort of fixing it in the stone, because Pluto becomes activated after the full moon. Before the full moon was the grounding influence of Saturn, which is sort of creating the base, but after the full moon we need the power to move the mountain. So from 20th of February you start feeling Pluto. Pluto will meet Venus on 22nd of February in your house of communication. This is a very, very powerful element to sort of make things happen, to express the depth of your experience, to sort of have the words that will convince people, putting certain words on paper that will move people. This is the time to put something in a documentation, commercial terms, creating the depth of creativity on a paper. You're sort of creating the depth both in creative arena as well as practical arena. So you're bringing the two together. It's very, very powerful to convince somebody of your point of view. So especially if you have planets around 22 degree of Scorpio, which means you're born around 14th of November, this is like voodoo power. I have spoken about it before. This aspect is very, very powerful. So on 22nd of February, if you're born around 14th of November, or if you have ascendant sun or moon around 22 degree of Scorpio, convince somebody, sell something, sell your point of view, very powerful point of view across to somebody. You will also have Mercury meeting Pluto on 23rd of February, which you'll feel from 22nd, 21st of February as well. So the whole 20th to 24th of February is about communicating strongly, talking about your point of view, putting things to paper, getting the focus, the intensity, the depth right now, and persuading people about it. On 23rd of February, if you have a creative thought process, you have a creative idea, you have a business idea, you can convince somebody about that creative or business idea. At the time you can sell it, and your intuition is very, very strong right now. Your hunches are to be trusted at this point in time. In fact, when we have Mercury in Pisces and we have such a strong Pisces energy at the after the 10th of February, it is more important to focus on water energy, which is you are a water sign as well. Focusing on your intuition, focusing on your hunches, trusting your intuition, trusting your instincts at the time, going to water for inspiration. Anything related to water will inspire you right now. Around 22nd of February, we have a lucky aspect. This is a lucky aspect, but we can get a little bit overboard with it. Mercury and Jupiter are making a square with each other. This is money luck. This is money luck. This is a certain amount of risk paying off. This is can be too much of risk taking as well. So being a little bit careful. That's why I said if there's a scheme, get rich quick scheme, or where we are overextending from money perspective, we need to be a little bit careful. But something might come in your lap on 22nd of February, which is fabulous from a money perspective, which is very lucky to some extent. And this is especially true if you have planets around 21 degree of Scorpio, which means you're born around 13th of November. It's possible that the idea you're selling, it pays off right then, and that's what this is. There's a chance of monetary gain at the time. The grounding emphasis that I talked about at the earlier part of before the full moon, so between 16th to 20th, was more prevalent around 16 to 17 degree of Scorpio. So if you're born around 7th of November, the earlier part before the full moon is more important to you in terms of bedding things down as compared to afterwards. Afterwards is more relevant to 21 degree. So if you're born around 13th of November or 14th of November, but we should be able to access this way. All of us should be able to access this concentration, this focus, this convincing somebody around 20th or 22nd, 23rd of February. Because these are faster moving planets and Pluto influence is very strong at the time. Then on 25th of February, Venus and Mercury are meeting together. This is a very beautiful love aspect, actually, very, very passionate. It's if you want to have a date night, 25th of February is a fabulous day to do that. We should be able to make things work with our loved ones on this, reconcile with somebody, and say what we want to say. This is heart meets practical to some extent. So if there's a romantic matter that requires discussion, or even a creative matter that requires discussion, a practical consideration, 25th of February is a good time to do that. And 24th and 25th of February is a emotional reset in general for you, because it's a Scorpio moon, so there'll be a reset of sort that will happen. On 1st of March, we have Venus making a square with Uranus. So I would like you to brace yourself for more towards the end of the month when Venus makes a square with Uranus, because there might be sudden test. There might be a little bit of surprise. You have to release something lovingly, and there might be still some amount of courage required for it. So your courage could be tested, your heart stability could be tested while you're sort of clearing a hindrance and releasing something. Even though you might be releasing it lovingly, it might come as a little bit of a shock to the heart to some extent, because you're doing something difficult. So being prepared for the end of the month for some amount of surprises coming as a result of you releasing something, both in your work and health area, and creating the strong foundation for that. 26th to 28th of February, Sun and Mars are working together. You're very energized, you're ambitious, you're taking action. There will be focus on forming partnerships going forward. There will be focus on creating the set of people who will support you in this endeavor. It is also to some extent support from your partner, because Mars will be in your partnership sector. So creating support from your partners, creating support from your client. This is one-on-one connection. So your business partner, your client, one-on-one client, or your marriage partner, getting support from them, and you'll feel supported. You'll be able to get the requisite support. It will energize you. Your ambitions will be energized between 26th to 28th February because of support, or the help, or the actions, or the partnerships that you're creating. It's great for love. It's great for, actually, if you are in a romantic relationship, to create a committed relationship out of romance. 26th to 28th of February is great for that. So this was your month of February. What a beautiful, beautiful month this is. Good luck for that, and I'll speak to you in March now.